Hey guys and gals, my name is Morgano, and today I'm going to be telling you a story about school. So, it's my first year of middle school, 6th grade, alright? So, it's probably the third day of school, and we're going to our full classes for the first time. So, I have band with my new band teacher. Let's just call him Mr. Winowski, alright? Let's just call him that. On the first day of school, like full classes, I walk into Mr. Winowski's room at 9th period and I'm like, "Hey, my name's Morgan, nice to meet you." And he continues to respond with, "Yes, I am." That's not how it works! So, right after he says that, just that, snaps in my head, I'm like, oh my god, this guy is going to be a pain in the ass. So, that's pretty much it for the entire 6th grade year. He was okay, and I also joined jazz band that year, which is going to be a pretty big part of this story. Jazz band is, just saying. So the next year, 7th grade, I play percussion. Mr. Winowski, I've realized, is a nut job. So half of the kids that did concert band in 6th grade, once it turned to 7th grade, those kids were gone just because of Mr. Winowski's attitude towards us. So one day in 7th grade, I'm getting ready, I've got my drumsticks, and it turns out that day he was just going to lecture us about how much we sucked. God. So I was super bored, so, I'm sitting there in the back of the room with the percussion section, and there's, this cymbal on a hook on a stand. So the cymbal's just kind of hanging there on a string. So I'm super bored, so I'm, bouncing this cymbal up and down because I'm really bored. And then this cymbal goes flying off the hook, flying, and it hits the ground with, the loudest crash you have ever heard. So, immediately after that, I look up at Mr. Winowski's podium, and I actually smiled and started laughing. And this is how he looked at me. As soon as I started laughing, I realized, oh shit, that was a mistake. So he stares me down, and I'm like, when this cymbal falls, it nearly falls on my foot, which is I'm just wearing flip-flops, so this cymbal would have sliced into my foot, and that's a lot of money to get that fixed. So after that, Mr. Winowski looks at me and goes, "Do you know how much that cymbal costs?" And I go, "Do you know how much my foot costs?" Mr. Winowski responds with, "That cymbal costs $500. My foot will cost you over $13,000, buddy. I don't care about your health." Oh my god. This guy's crazy. He's a teacher. He's supposed to care about our health. He's supposed to actually care. But no. No. Not in his book he isn't. Ha! So after that incident, I automatically hated him. I was like, oh my god. You're a fucking idiot. Okay, skip to the next year, 8th grade, last year of middle school. Still in band because I'm just holding on because I just want to get through middle school and I want to finish with band because my talent matters, I'm going to use it in high school, blah, 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 blah. Nothing really happened that much in the 8th grade year, nothing I could actually think of. I'm sure there was a lot, but I don't like thinking about Mr. Winowski, so we're just going to, go with what I can remember. So, I'm playing in jazz band one day, and I'm sight reading this piece of music. Sight reading is when you look at a piece of music for the first time and you try to play it, just to, get used to what it sounds like and what it feels like. So, in the middle of me sight reading this piece, I stop because I come to a measure where I don't know how to play it, so I completely stopped playing and started looking at this music. And Mr. Winowski immediately turns and stares at me with the most evil glare of all time. And I sit there and look back at him. I'm like, hey. And then he goes, "You giving up on this music makes me want to do this." And here's an example of what he did. He throws a book at my face! My face! Ugh, why would you do that? And then I simply stand up and walk out of the room. Of course, he was going to write me up for that, but I don't care. He almost just nailed my face with a hard-covered book. Ugh, who would do that? Who? Please, please. Really, a teacher wouldn't do that. So after that, I didn't like jazz band. I never really liked jazz band anyway, but since I was good at it, I stuck with it. Because, I mean, I liked playing in front of people, like the drums. Ha. So, it's about the end of the year, maybe 2 weeks till the last day of school. And I go to jazz band rehearsal, and I stay until 4 o'clock in the afternoon playing my drums with the jazz band. And at the end of practice, I turn to him and I go, "Hey, so will this count to make up some of my band lessons?" And he responds with, "No, you're gonna have to come down at third period." Remember how he says, "I'm going to have to come down at third period." Remember that. That's a critical part of this story. Okay, see you tomorrow. And I leave. The next day, I go to third period and I say to my Spanish teacher, I go, "Hey, Mr. McMahon told me that I had to make up my band lesson at third period." So I rounded up a bunch of people because a lot of people had to make up band lessons and a lot of people had actual band lessons to go to. So I think there was at least 12 of us. We all leave to go to our band lessons, and that's pretty much the whole class, which is kind of a bummer for my teacher. I understand where she comes from, so yeah. So we all walk down to the band room together. So we get down there, and immediately Mr. Winowski is storming out of the room towards me going, "Morgan, in the hallway now!" Okay! And he immediately starts to talk to me in the worst tone ever. "Morgan, you lied to your teacher." What? I never said that you had to come down to band at third period. I specifically said that you should ask your teacher if you could come down at third period. No, you didn't. And I'm just sitting there going, and he just keeps going, "I'm gonna write you up for lying about your teacher." This guy's a freaking lunatic. What? I don't understand. I know just because you're a teenager means that you want to skip class because you hate Spanish and you want to go walk the halls. Okay. Just because I'm a teenager doesn't mean I want to skip class and walk the halls. Me being me, I don't skip class. I'm like a teacher's pet. I strive for the highest grades possible, and I get them. I can't skip class. I'm just not one of those people. So I say that to him, you know? And he responds with, "I'm also writing you up for giving me attitude and talking back to your teacher. You don't do that. That is very disrespectful." What? How are you supposed to talk to someone without talking back to them? Like, if I wasn't allowed to talk back, that would be one very one-sided conversation. So me being me, I am so angry, I start crying. I start bawling in the hallway. And this guy just doesn't care. He continues, "I'm now going to send you back to your class and call your teacher and tell her that you lied to her and just wanted to get out of class." I go, "I didn't just want to get out of class. You told me specifically that I had to come down third period. Get out of my face." Have you ever had that feeling where you just want to shoot one of your teachers? Or am I the only one? So then I go, "That's it. I'm quitting jazz band. Bye, Felicia." And I walked back to class, crying, but confident because I stood up to one of my worst teachers. But here's one of the catches. He only sent me back to my class when there were at least 12 other kids that should have been back at class too because they were making up band lessons. Explain to me how that makes sense to you. How he's just going to send down me and not any of the other kids that were making up band lessons. Does that make sense to you guys? Leave a comment, please, because I seriously want to know this. In the end, I ended up quitting jazz band for the last 2 weeks of middle school. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I missed a holiday where I got to play, where I would have gotten to play with the jazz band at the park, and there was like a lot of people, but you know, I did that 2 years in a row already, so I really didn't care. But now I'm happy again, because now I'm in 9th grade, and I'm back in jazz band because I have a different teacher, and he's way cooler, my old band teacher. So that's it for this story today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you want to hear more stories from school or just my life in general. And as usual, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!